She believes that mentoring is essential for both our meeting and life in general. It is my pleasure. I can't wait. Please help me welcome Sheila Norman.
Awesome. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Now, the fact that Carlos doesn't know what the Successful Club Series is a tragedy. So I'm going to start by telling you, before I really get into some more information. The Successful Club Series is a set of speeches or presentations that are available for any Toastmaster who chooses to give a presentation to the club to help improve the club in some aspect. There are a whole bunch of Successful Club Series manuals. And since Steve is helping us all along and wants everyone in the club to earn their Competent Communicator Award, one of the other benefits to mentoring is in your Competent Leadership Manual, which everyone should also be working on. Mentoring is one of the requirements to get your Competent Leadership Award. The Successful Club presentation is one of the requirements for getting your Advanced Leader Bronze Award. Now, our club not only gets better as our members work through the manuals and learn more things, but we also get points towards being a distinguished club, which means we're doing a really good job for all of our individual members. Now, when I looked at the mentoring manual, they give a PowerPoint presentation. I personally hate PowerPoint presentations because I end up not being able to see the audience while I'm giving the presentation. And I condensed the entire manual onto one postcard. As far as I'm concerned, everything that is important, other than what we're going to talk about in that manual, is contained on the postcard. Now, I learned this trick yesterday. Some of the other members of the club were with me at a presentation given by a past World Championship of Public Speaking on building a successful club. So what do we do when we hear a good idea from someone else? We promptly steal it and make it our own, which is exactly what I did. How many people in this room are mentors? Raise your hand. Now, in response to that question, every single person in this room should have raised their hand. We're all mentoring each other. According to Toastmaster, they say, as a mentor, I will take a personal interest and help someone become successful by serving as a role model, coach, and confidant, and offering knowledge, insight, perspective, and wisdom. Now, I would tell you, every single person in this room has something to contribute to everyone else in that regard. Now, think about it. I have one mentor. My mentor is Emmanuel Smith. And I learned a lot of really important good things from Emmanuel Smith, particularly with respect to how this particular club works, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, things like that. And he helped me with my first few speeches, which is exactly what a mentor is supposed to do. Even though Emmanuel Smith is the only assigned mentor I have, I will tell you I've been mentored by a lot of other people in this room, some of whom knew it, and some of whom probably didn't even realize they were mentoring. Joan Noble and John Morse were both incredibly generous in giving me their time when I was preparing for the humorous speech contest. They came to my office and sat down and evaluated me. That's mentoring. Do you want to know how to give a speech that tugs on someone's heartstrings and really makes you think about what is emotionally happening? I think we have some members in this group who could help you give a really good emotional speech, like, for instance, Maria Haymore right here. How about some people who could mentor you on how to give a speech that inspires other people? Steve V. Hill, John Love. Both of these are incredibly talented people that we are lucky to have that can teach everyone else in this club things that they need to know. Not all of the people in the club who've been here forever are the only ones who can provide us with really important mentoring skills. Ravi has taught me some great things about some really nerdy topics, which, you know, I'm a closet geek. And he also did an incredible job with one of his speeches and holding a surprise until the very end of the speech. And it was one of the first few speeches he gave in the Competent Communication Manual. So I encourage every person in this room to think about not only what everyone else in this room might be able to teach you about, but what you might be able to teach everybody else in this room in turn, because we should all be mentoring each other. This is a very diverse club. We have people from a wide variety of cultures. So not only do we get the opportunity to learn about the members in our club individually, but we learn about their cultural backgrounds. Things that we go out in our regular, everyday life and use. The other thing I noticed yesterday, one of those knock yourself in the forehead kind of moments, when this gentleman was talking about building a successful club, and he specifically mentioned the kind of things that you go to a Toastmasters meeting to learn. Some employers send their employees to Toastmasters not to learn to public speak, that's a side effect, but they really send their members to learn to be leaders. And what Lance Miller said yesterday, 2005 champion of public speaking, was you don't learn in a Toastmasters meeting how to lead a Toastmasters meeting, you learn how to lead. These are all skills that are transferable to everything else. Think about your Competent Leadership Manual, just like your Competent Communicator Manual. That Competent Leadership Manual takes you step by step by step by step in skills that you need to learn to develop your leadership skills. So I'm going to start manifesting a room full of mentors here by reminding all of you to look for opportunities to mentor your fellow members and to make sure that you're taking advantage of every opportunity to receive mentoring from the other members in the club. Now, officially, and this is another thing that you will find in your Competent Leader Manual, Toastmasters recognizes two groups of people that we're likely to mentor. One of those groups of people is pretty obvious. It's the brand new members that walk into the club. How do we mentor those new members? Maybe we sit down beside them at a Toastmasters meeting and we talk to them about what's going to happen at that Toastmasters meeting. Here's the agenda. Here's what these different folks are up to, the different roles in the meeting. Here's your comment paper. Here's why we want you to write something down. It means a lot to the other people who are listening, who are speaking. They want to know what's going on. They want your feedback. How do we learn to give good feedback? We're a grammarian. We listen to what's going on. We're an awe counter. We're learning these skills progressively. We can mentor each other in how to learn those skills. We can talk about the benefits that we've received from mentoring. So we talked a little bit about the benefit I personally received from mentoring. Can anyone else tell me an example of mentoring they received inside this club? Oh.
When I had to do my first evaluation, Steve told me to look it up on YouTube and watch the videos, which were excellent.
Anybody else have a good example?
Michael Hamlin told me that we prepare a 7-minute speech to be a 5-minute speech so we don't run out of time.
Excellent. The other group of people that we can mentor, who get a lot of benefit from mentoring, is experienced members. So we're going to mentor an experienced member in a different way. Typically, an experienced mentor is going to want to work on something specific. I know personally, I have a terrible time with voice variety. I'm not good with imitating different voices, and so I'm now looking for somebody. There's got to be someone either in this Toastmasters club or some other Toastmasters club that can specifically mentor me with respect to that skill, and I'm keeping my eye out for them. So think about opportunities to mentor new members, think about opportunities to mentor experienced members, take a look at your CL manual and figure out how you can make sure you get credit for those opportunities. Also on my handy dandy postcard summary of the Toastmasters manual are a list of mentor qualities. They're all fairly self-explanatory, available, patient, listening, things like that. But what I would like to do now is have you guys tell me, what do you think, what suggestions can you provide for mentoring members? Things that you wish someone told you, things that you think it would be helpful to tell someone else. Yes, Jim.
You don't have to be perfect in order to improve as a speaker.
Oh, that's great. And I was remiss on not pointing out one of our brand new resources here. This is the District 48 Evaluation Champion. Think you might have somebody to teach us about how to give a good evaluation? Yay. Anybody else?
Good at memorizing.
Excellent. I think I remember getting that very piece of advice from you. Anybody else?
I would say have a talk about fear at the beginning.
Ah, that's great.
Because a lot of people will quit before that first speech comes up. They're so terrified. And the message I think that really needs to get out is this is the safest place to mess up. You have an audience. And we're all supportive. This is safe haven right here.
Anybody else? Sanford.
The new members especially, you don't have to speak on something that you're not comfortable with. In other words, if you feel comfortable, the first 4 or 5 speeches speak about your family, do what it takes for you to get beyond it. In other words, first 5 speeches about your family, there's nothing wrong with it. Just build up your confidence on whatever, however it takes.
Did you have something, John?
Practice.
Ah, excellent. Practice.
Practice.
Practice. All right. I hope everybody enjoyed the presentation. I'm going to hand out these postcards now. And we're very creative because none of these suggestions are on the postcard, which means that none of them are in the Toastmaster manual. Thank you. All right.